Good morning. Dear students, today you are going to learn about the digestion and absorption of lipids. Lipids can be defined as the complex organic substances which are insoluble in water but soluble in organic solvents like benzene and ether. As the lipids are insoluble in water, but the digestive enzymes, however, are present in the aqueous medium. So this poses certain problem for digestion and absorption of lipids. Hence, for digestion and absorption of lipid, there is a specialized process called as emulsification. So, this is the unique process which is concerned with the digestion and absorption of lipids only. And it is unique when compared with the digestion and absorption of carbohydrates and proteins where there is no emulsification. So, let us learn about it in detail in today's class. The learning objectives of today's topic is: describe the process involved in digestion and absorption of lipids. Dietary lipids include neutral fat, that is triacylglycerol, triglycerides, fatty acid, phospholipid, glycolipid, sterols, and fat soluble vitamins, that is A, D, E, and K. The sources of lipid, there are two sources of lipid, that is endogenous source and exogenous source. The endogenous source is the source by which the body has the capability to synthesize the lipids by itself. The lipids which are synthesized in the body are fatty acid, triacylglycerol, cholesterol, cholesterol esters, and phospholipid. And the exogenous source is the dietary source by which the lipids are supplied to the body. So lipids obtained through diet consist of about 90% of it is triacylglycerol, and the remaining 10% of it is contributed by phospholipids, cholesterol, cholesterol esters, free fatty acids, and fat soluble vitamins. So these exogenous dietary source has got two sources. They are animal source and vegetable source. The animal source for the dietary lipids are milk, butter, ghee, meat, egg yolk, and pork. And the vegetable source for the dietary lipids are oils from various oil seeds like groundnut oil, sunflower oil, coconut oil, mustard oil, and cottonseed oil. So in the dietary lipid content, about 90% of it is contributed by triacylglycerol, and 4% of it consists of free fatty acid, and 5% of it consists of phospholipids, and 1 to 2% of it consists of cholesterol. So digestion in mouth and stomach. As said to you earlier, that lipids are the organic substances which are insoluble in water but soluble in organic solvents like benzene and ether. Hence, they need to get solubilized by emulsification with bile acids and bile salts, and the emulsification process occurs in the small intestine, duodenal part of the small intestine. Hence, before emulsification, the digestion of lipids in the mouth and the stomach is very little or negligible because they are not emulsified. So here the digestion occurs only to a limited extent for short chain fatty acids where the lingual lipase and gastric lipase digest them and absorb directly. So the digestion in the mouth and stomach is negligible or to a very limited extent because they are not emulsified. And once they are emulsified with the bile salts in the small intestine, then they are completely digested by the action of enzymes like pancreatic lipase, phospholipase, cholesterol esterase, where the lipids are completely digested and ready to get absorbed into the intestinal mucosal cell. So let us learn about this process total one by one in detail. So digestion in mouth. Hydrolysis of triacylglycerol is initiated by lingual and gastric lipases which attack the third ester bond forming 1,2-diacylglycerol and free fatty acid aiding emulsion. So the gastric and lingual lipase acts on the triacylglycerol at third carbon and breaks down the fatty acid attached to the third carbon, forming the products like 1,2-diacylglycerol and free fatty acid, which aids in emulsification. The characteristics of the lingual lipase are that it is secreted by the dorsal surface of the tongue. It is active at low pH, that is 2 to 7.5. It is the optimum pH for its activity is 4 to 4.5. The ideal substrate for its action is short chain triglycerides. The milk fat contains short chain fatty acids which are esterified at third position. Thus, it is the best substrate for the action of the enzyme lingual lipase. The enzyme action continues in the stomach also. The short chain fatty acids released are absorbed directly from the stomach wall and enter the portal circulation. So, this action of lingual lipase is very important in the pediatric group as they are totally dependent on milk, which consists of short chain fatty acids. So, they are directly digested and absorbed into the blood. Then digestion in the stomach. Stomach consists of gastric lipase, which is secreted in small quantities. It is more effective at alkaline pH, that is 7.8. It requires the presence of calcium ions for its activity. It is less effective in the stomach due to the acidic pH, except when the intestinal contents are regurgitated into the gastric lumen. It is not effective for long chain fatty acids, most effective for short and medium chain fatty acids. Milk, egg yolk, and fats containing short chain fatty acids are suitable substrates for the action of gastric lipase. Then significance of these two enzymes, that is lingual and gastric lipase. So it plays an important role in lipid digestion in the neonate since milk is the main source of energy. There are important digestive enzymes in the pancreatic insufficiency such as cystic fibrosis or pancreatic disorders. So the lingual and gastric lipase can degrade the triglycerides with short and medium chain fatty acids in the patients with pancreatic disorders, and despite a near or complete absence of pancreatic lipase, so they act as a source of the short chain fatty acids which are digested and provided to the body in the absence of pancreatic enzymes. So this is the main source. These two enzymes provide the main source of lipids in the insufficiency or absence of pancreatic enzymes. Then emulsification. Emulsification is a process of mixing up of the dietary fat content with the bile acids and bile salts secreted in the bile juice. So the emulsification is the process by which the bile acids and bile salts decreases the surface tension of the dietary fat by increasing the surface area for the action of the enzyme in order to get it digested more easily and properly. So this is known as emulsification. So let us learn about it. So lipids are hydrophobic and thus are poorly soluble in aqueous environment of digestive tract. The digestive enzymes lipase is water soluble and can only work at the surface of the fat globules. Digestion is greatly aided by emulsification, the breaking up of fat globules into much smaller emulsion droplets. So this is the chemistry of bile salts. Bile salts are synthesized in the liver and stored in the gallbladder. They are the derivatives of cholesterol. They consist of a sterol ring structure with a side chain to which the molecule of glycine or taurine is covalently attached by an amide linkage. So this is the chemistry of bile salts. So bile salts are formed from bile. The primary bile acids are cholic acid and chenodeoxycholic acid. The primary bile acids enters the bile as glycine or taurine conjugates. In the alkaline bile, the bile acids and their conjugates are assumed to be in the salt form, hence the term bile salts is used. A portion of primary bile acids in the intestine is subjected to further changes by the activity of the intestinal bacteria. So these changes, which are subjected by the intestinal bacteria, include deconjugation and 7-alpha dehydroxylation of primary bile acids. So by these changes, the primary bile acids are converted to secondary bile acids. They are deoxycholic acid and lithocholic acid. So primary bile acids are cholic acid and chenodeoxycholic acid. So by the action of intestinal bacteria, they undergo changes which include deconjugation and 7-alpha dehydroxylation to form the secondary bile acids. They are deoxycholic acid and lithocholic acid by the action of intestinal bacteria. So bile salts are required for proper functioning of pancreatic lipase enzyme. So bile salts help in combination of lipase with two molecules of small protein called as colipase. This combination enhances the lipase activity and helps in digestion. The bile salts also help in emulsification of fats. Then functions of bile. So emulsification of fats stabilize the emulsion and provides alkaline medium for the activity of enzymes. Bile helps in absorption of the digested fat into the intestinal mucosal cell. They produce surfactants. They act as potent choleretics and they excrete the waste substances and they solubilize the cholesterol. So these are the important functions of the bile. Then digestion in small intestine. So it is the major site for the fat digestion because here the dietary fats are subjected or emulsified by the bile acids and bile salts. So once they are emulsified, now they are ready to get digested in the small intestine. So small intestine acts as a major site for fat digestion. Effective digestion due to the presence of pancreatic lipase and bile salts. Bile salts acts as an effective emulsifying agents for fats. Secretion of pancreatic juice is stimulated by the passage of acid gastric content into the duodenum and the secretion of certain hormones like secretin, cholecystokinin, and pancreozymin and gastrointestinal hormone helps in the release of pancreatic juice. So these pancreatic juice consist of three important enzymes which are helpful for the digestion of fats once they are emulsified. So they are pancreatic lipase, phospholipase A2, and cholesterol esterase. So pancreatic lipase is useful for the digestion of triglycerides, and phospholipase A2 is useful for the digestion of phospholipids, and cholesterol esterase is useful for the digestion of cholesterol esters. So let us see or learn about it one by one. So hydrolysis of dietary triacylglycerol by pancreatic lipase. So once these triacylglycerol are emulsified by bile salts in the intestine, then they are hydrolyzed by the action of pancreatic lipase, which acts on it and converts it into 2-monoacylglycerol and free fatty acid. So this lipase breaks the fatty acid present at first carbon and third carbon of the triacylglycerol and convert it into 2-monoacylglycerol and free fatty acid. So these are the products which are formed by the action of enzyme pancreatic lipase, that is 2-monoacylglycerol and fatty acid. Significance of this enzyme, that is pancreatic lipase. The enzyme is present in high concentration in pancreas. Only very severe pancreatic deficiency such as cystic fibrosis results in the malabsorption of fat due to the impaired digestion. Some drugs like orlistat, which is an anti-obesity drug, it inhibits the gastric and pancreatic lipases, thereby decreasing the fat digestion and absorption resulting in the weight loss. So here is the overview. In the small intestine, the bile flows from the gallbladder and it emulsifies the fat. Once the fat is emulsified, the pancreatic lipase flows from the pancreas and it acts on the emulsified fat and breaks it down to 2-monoacylglyceride 2-monoacylglycerol, and free fatty acids. Then hydrolysis of dietary phospholipids by phospholipase A2. The phospholipids are digested by the pancreatic phospholipase A2, which acts on glycerophospholipids and breaks down the fatty acid at second carbon atom to form lysophospholipid and free fatty acid. So the products formed by the action of phospholipase A2 is lysophospholipid and fatty acid, free fatty acid. Then the next important enzyme, that is cholesterol esterase. So cholesterol esterase acts on the cholesterol esters and hydrolyzes the cholesterol esters to form cholesterol and free fatty acids. So the products formed by the action of the enzyme cholesterol esterase is cholesterol and free fatty acid. So these are the end products of the digestion of the fat. So the products of dietary lipid digestion are free fatty acid, free cholesterol, 2-monoacylglycerol, and lysophospholipids. So these are the important products which are formed at the end of the fat digestion. So when the digestion of the fat is totally completed, these are the products which are generated from the fat digestion. Now these products need to get absorbed into the intestinal mucosal cell. So in this process also the bile salts plays a very important role in formation of micelle. So let us learn about it. So absorption and transport of lipid from the intestinal lumen. So absorption theories. So there are many absorption theories put forward by various scientists to explain the absorption of lipids. Among them, a few important theories are lipolytic theory put forward by Wurtzar and partition theory by Fraser and Bergstrom theory by Bergstrom. So according to the lipolytic theory put forward by Wurtzar, here it says that, or it indicates that the fats are completely hydrolyzed to glycerol and free fatty acid, and the latter are absorbed either as soap or in association with bile salts. And the partition theory states that the digestion of triacylglycerols is partial and not complete. The partially digested triacylglycerol in association with bile salts form emulsions. The lipids are taken up by the intestinal mucosal cell. As per this theory, the resynthesis of lipids is not necessary for the entry into the circulation. And the last one, that is the Bergstrom theory. So this is the more recent and comprehensive theory to explain the lipid absorption. It has almost replaced the earlier theories. So let us learn about the Bergstrom theory for the absorption of lipids in detail today. So glycerol, short and medium chain fatty acids are directly absorbed from the intestinal lumen into the portal vein and taken to the liver for further utilization. The long chain fatty acid, free cholesterol and beta acylglycerol together with the bile salts forms mixed micelle. So this, apart from the emulsification, the bile salts are helping for the absorption of the lipids into the intestinal mucosal cell by forming mixed micelle with the digested products of the lipids. So the digested products of the lipids consist of long chain fatty acid, free cholesterol, beta acylglycerol. So these all together are mixed with the bile salts to form mixed micelle. So lipids can be absorbed from the intestinal lumen into the intestinal mucosal cell by forming in the form of mixed micelles, but not as individual. So here you can see in the diagram that the products of dietary lipid digestion, they are fatty acid, that is free cholesterol, 2-monoacylglycerol, lysophospholipid, and the fat soluble vitamins like vitamin A, D, E, and K. So these all together they mix with the bile salts to form mixed micelle. So this mixed micelle is very important for the absorption of lipids into the intestinal mucosal cell. So here, once they form this mixed micelle, they get absorbed into the intestinal mucosal cell by passive diffusion. So here, once they enter into the intestinal mucosal cell, then the process of resynthesis starts. So the fatty acid in the intestinal mucosal cell gets activated in presence of enzyme thiokinase to form fatty acyl CoA. So this activated fatty acid helps in the synthesis of triacylglycerol from monoacylglycerol. Apart from it, this activated fatty acid helps in the synthesis of cholesterol esterase from cholesterol, and it also helps in the synthesis of phospholipids from lysophospholipid. So this is how the fats are again resynthesized in the intestinal mucosal cell, and once they are resynthesized, they get into chylomicron. So they all get into chylomicron. So the fat soluble vitamins and along with it the phospholipid, cholesterol esters, free fatty acid and triglycerides, they form a chylomicron. They enter into the chylomicron inside the intestinal mucosal cell, and in the form of this chylomicron they enter into the lymphatic circulation by exocytosis, by a process called as exocytosis. So the lacteal vesicles, they transport these chylomicrons into the thoracic duct, and from the thoracic duct they are emptied into the circulation. This is how the absorption of lipids occur. Once again, listen to me. So the products of dietary lipids are free fatty acid, free cholesterol, 2-monoacylglycerol, lysophospholipid. So all these dietary, so digested products of the lipids, they get mixed with the bile salts and form a mixed micelle. So this mixed micelle along with the fat soluble vitamins like A, D, E, K are now ready to get absorbed into the intestinal mucosal cell. So this formation of mixed micelle is important, uh, and bile salts helps in the formation of this mixed micelle. So once the mixed micellar is formed, they enter into the intestinal mucosal cell by passive diffusion. So once they enter into the intestinal mucosal cell, then there is a resynthesis of triacylglycerol and resynthesis of cholesterol esters and resynthesis of phospholipids. So this is done by activation of fatty acid in presence of enzyme thiokinase, where the fatty acids are activated to fatty acyl CoA, and these fatty acids helps in the synthesis of triglycerides, cholesterol esters and phospholipids. So these all the products, resynthesized products along with the vitamin A, D, E, K, they form a chylomicron. So this chylomicron are released into the circulation by exocytosis in the form of lacteal vessels. So these lacteal vessels transport them to the thoracic duct, and where they are emptied into the circulation. This is about the absorption of lipids. So absorption is over. So this is the structure of chylomicron. The size of chylomicron is from 0.1 to 1 micron meter. The average composition of chylomicron consists of about 84% of it is triglycerides and 2% cholesterol and 4% cholesterol esters and 8% phospholipids and 2% apolipoproteins. So here you can see that how the chylomicrons are formed in the intestinal mucosal cell. Once the chylomicrons are formed, they are released by the process of exocytosis into the circulation with the help of lacteal vesicles, and they reach the target tissue or organs wherever they are required. So here you can see the another picture where you can see that the digestion of the complex lipids with the help of bile salts and their digested products are absorbed into the intestinal mucosal cell by forming micelle, and once they enter into the intestinal mucosal cell they are resynthesized, and once they are resynthesized they form the chylomicron. They are associated with the chylomicron, and this chylomicron by the process of exocytosis they enter into the circulation by lacteal vesicles. So they enter the thoracic duct, and from the thoracic duct they are emptied into the circulation where they reach the target tissues or organs wherever they are required. Then clinical significance of chylomicron synthesis and utilization. So defective synthesis of this chylomicron. So chylomicrons are important for transport of the lipids from the intestinal mucosal cell to the target tissues or organ wherever they are required. So due to the deficiency of ApoB48 protein, the triglycerides may accumulate in the intestinal cell due to the defective synthesis of chylomicron. So chyluria, due to an abnormal connection between the urinary tract and lymphatic drainage system of the intestine, forming chylous fistula, which is characterized by the passage of milky urine, which is called as chyluria. Then chylothorax, this is an abnormal connection between the pleural space and lymphatic drainage of small intestine, resulting in accumulation of lymph in the pleural cavity, giving it a milky pleural effusion, which is called as chylothorax. Then summary of lipid digestion and absorption. So the lipid digestion is to a very little extent in the mouth and in the stomach, in presence of enzyme lingual lipase and gastric lipase, because they are not emulsified. So here only a short chain fatty acids are digested and absorbed directly, but the complex lipids, they need to get emulsified, so before digestion. So the complex lipids are emulsified in the duodenal part of the intestine, small intestine, and once they are emulsified, then they are acted upon by the enzymes like pancreatic lipase, cholesterol esterase, and phospholipase A2. So they further break down the complex lipid into simpler and easily absorbable forms like 2-monoacyl glycerol, cholesterol, free fatty acid, lysophospholipids. So these digested products, they again get mixed with the bile salts or bile acids to form a micelle. So here, apart from the digestion and emulsification, the bile acids helps in absorption of lipids also by forming micelle. So once the micelle is formed with the digested product of the lipids, they are ready to get absorbed into the intestinal mucosal cell. So the mixed micelle enters into the intestinal mucosal cell by a process called as passive diffusion. So in the intestinal mucosal cell, again there is a resynthesis of the complex lipids like triacylglycerol, cholesterol esters, and phospholipid with the activation of fatty acid. So once these complex lipids are resynthesized, then they get transported in the form of chylomicrons. So the chylomicrons incorporate all these lipids and they transport, they enters into the circulation by exocytosis, and they are carried to the thoracic duct by the lacteal vesicles, and from the thoracic duct they are emptied into the circulation and reaches wherever they are, the requirement of them is there. So chylomicron delivers the absorbed triacylglycerol to the body's cell. Triacylglycerol and chylomicrons and other lipoproteins are hydrolyzed by lipoprotein lipase, an enzyme that is found in the capillary endothelial cells. Monoglycerides and fatty acids are released from the digestion of triacylglycerol, then diffuse into the cells. Then abnormalities in the lipid digestion and absorption. So it consists of four important things, that is steatorrhea, cystic fibrosis, chyluria, and chylothorax. So lipid malabsorption. Lipid malabsorption results in a loss of lipid as much as 30 grams per day, including the fat-soluble vitamins and essential fatty acids in the feces. The condition in which the feces contain large amount of fat and fatty acids, commonly the stearic acid, therefore it is called as steatorrhea. Steatorrhea caused by a number of conditions. The most common cause are the bile salt deficiency occurs in the liver or due to the obstruction in the bile duct. The pancreatic enzyme deficiency occurs in the pancreatitis or cystic fibrosis. Defective chylomicron synthesis occurs in the congenital A beta lipoproteinemia. So these are the conditions. So where there is obstruction or defective synthesis or deficiency of enzyme, So where the stearic acid is excreted in the feces and is responsible for steatorrhea. Lipid malabsorption results in the increased lipids, including fat soluble vitamins A, D, E, K in the feces. Cause may be pancreatic insufficiency, including the cystic fibrosis, chronic disease of the pancreas, or surgical removal of the pancreas. Shortened bowel, celiac disease, Sprue, or Conn's disease also contribute for it. Maybe the bile duct obstruction due to the gallstone, tumors of the head of the pancreas, enlarged lymph nodes, etc., are also the reason for steatorrhea. Milk and coconut oil are used therapeutically since they contain the medium chain fatty acid which can be used directly. So, second, that is cystic fibrosis. So, the pancreatic lipase is found in high concentration in pancreatic secretions. It has a catalytic activity, but in bacterial infection where the cystic fibrosis occurs, there is severe pancreatic lipase deficiency seen in cystic fibrosis, which results in malabsorption of lipids and there is the presence of unsplit fat in the stool. So, cystic fibrosis. Then chyluria, due to the abnormal connection between the lymphatics and urinary tract, so there is passage of uh, chyle in the urine, so that gives the urine the milky white appearance. So due to the presence of this, the urine appears milky color, that is called as chyluria, secretion of fats in the urine. So chylothorax, there is abnormal connection between the pleural cavity and thoracic ducts. Due to this, there is leakage of lipids in the pleural fluid. So this is the X-ray. You can see that where the chylothorax is seen, where there is diffusion or where there is diffusion of lipids in the pleural cavity, and due to this, the chylothorax is observed. So this is chylothorax, and this is the assignment. You need to complete it and send it back to me on Telegram.